friends, welcome back to
Wish You Love Podcast.
I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Marilyn.
And thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you guys have been having a great September so far.
We're at the last week.
I know.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
So
I can't believe
crazy. I know. I hope you guys have just been having fun, dipping your toes into fall. October is when, the spookiness comes up. Although September already kind of, you get a taste of it.
Right.
But yeah, then we have all the holidays coming in. So
yeah. It's coming fast.
Yeah. And then, so crazy to even think about, 2024 is gone.
I know. So sad.
New year begins.
I like 2024. It was a good year.
I know. It really was. So, but it's
Great
also
year.
exciting because then we could do that reflecting, which we love to do.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I need to listen to once that time comes in December, our first episode. I need to listen to it again.
Yes.
See where I was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, did we hit it? Or
Yeah.
Did we not?
Yeah.
Or, reflection. We love it.
Love it.
Well, thank you guys for, again, tuning in. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow us at Wish You Love Pod. If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and comment below one word to describe your September, since we're wrapping up.
Ooh, I love that.
Comment below. And if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, maybe hop on Instagram and comment there.
On our latest post.
Yeah.
It could just be a post of the thing and we'll know what you mean.
Yeah. So.
And also, we just wanted to go over our intro question. So, you know how we did last month, our song of the month? Well, this time we're going to do our album of the month and have an honorable mention song.
Yeah. So this is something you guys will definitely start to listen each month. These intro questions.
Yes,
we kind of want to keep it a routine so that you guys can join this ride and kind of see where our life changes and our music tastes and our ins and our outs and all of that.
And share music. Yeah, comment down below your album of the month or your song. If you're just like, I don't have any album, I just play. I just always have songs from different artists. Comment down below because we always love to hear new music. Like my friend, she put me on to this album. So, without her, I would have never heard it. So,
yeah. So, Marilyn, you want to share yours first?
Sure. So if you're on YouTube, I'm going to put the pictures on the screen so you guys can see it exactly. But I'll also link it down below just so you guys have the song choice and then you can look up the album. But the album is called Something to Give Each Other by Troye Sivan. I think that's how you say his name. And then my song, oh my goodness, I love two songs, Rush and One of Your Girls. I know it's a boy singing this, but One of Your Girls, I told Anthony, that song makes me think of what I'd say to you, except that he doesn't have other girls or anything like that. But just the beginning, if you listen to it, he's just hyping up his man of just saying you should get that waist insured. Your face card, no, what does he say? Face card. No cash, no credit. You know how they say that your face card pays for it all? Just hyping up your partner. That, I love that song. But my recommendation song is Rush. That's the first song of the album. That song gets me pumped. I feel the rush, addicted to your touch. Oh, it's so good. It's just one of those songs you just want to dance to in the shower. That's what I play in the shower. Or I even run to. That's one of my first songs, just getting into it, the jog. It's just a dance party song. You just want to have a good time. And I feel I love playing that song because it gets me in a happy mood, just ready just to be a fun time. Yeah. So that's my album right now.
Love it. I think I only know him because of Ari, right? They have a song together.
Yes, Supernatural.
Yeah.
I need to...
Well, no, and even before then, right?
Wait, which one?
There's another one, maybe.
You're about to put me on.
Don't quote me, but for sure Supernatural. So
yeah, that's a good one too.
I've never listened to this artist, but I know the name.
He's good.
So interesting.
Oh my gosh, you're about to put me on if they have another song because I haven't heard of it.
Is it not?
What album?
Popular.
He's in that one,
or is it not? We're about to find out right now.
Yeah.
Because if not...
But yeah, if you've been listening to Eternal Sunshine, that's another one of our fan faves album. But he's in that song in the special edition, Supernatural. It's better than the original, in my personal opinion. Like, I created a playlist of that album and I took out Supernatural and I put in with him because it's just, it needs his vocals with it. It's so good.
Yeah, they have Dance to This.
Dance to This.
Featuring Ariana Grande.
Okay, I need to listen to that.
And then they have Supernatural. And then they have... Oh, I guess it's just those two.
Okay, but she was right. They did have one other song. Wow, I didn't even know about that song. I hope it's good. But I feel like Ariana Grande, she's one of those artists, like, I love every song. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll love it.
True.
Okay, what about you? Your album of the moment?
All right, so my album of the moment is definitely Miss Sabrina Carpenter. Slay, Slay, Slay. I don't know if I shared this on one of the episodes, definitely in season 1. Or maybe I just shared it with you when we were hanging out. But I was really looking to get into like more like pop, like feminine music, because for a while Ariana was not releasing anything and I was so sad, and like the whole controversy thing with her was happening too, so it was like I don't know like what to listen or conflicted. Yeah. And so it was really hard for me. I was really trying to get into different artists. At that time, Sabrina Carpenter had slightly gotten my attention, but also a lot of her songs before were like slower, like breakup, sad songs. And again, I've been with my man for a while, so like I couldn't really relate. Yeah, but definitely by all, like definitely her most recent album is smacks. Like every single song, I want to say, is like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. And like it's such a like nice roller coaster where you go from like, even though it's a sad song or it's a sassy song, it still has that beat. So it's really, really fun. And it's really much so like a girly pop album. Like very much a like, like, you know, I'm listening to this. And like, if you listen to, I even got Angel to get into it and he loves it too. But he always like jokes around because he's like, oh my gosh, like if my friends knew I was listening to Sabrina Carpenter, like they would probably like die of laughter because it's such a girly pop like album. But yeah,
he loves pop, so
he does. Yeah, it does. And he's super open to like all types of music. But yeah, I really love that. That's definitely my album of the month. Short and sweet. As far as songs, I'm pulling it up right now. I would say I definitely do like Good Graces. I think Good Graces is really good. I even like the little, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't, you know, like it's such a like, you know, don't play me. Like stay on my good side or else, you know, you're going to disappear real quick. Definitely Bed Chem is really good. Juno, just... yeah, like I said, I feel like I can go on and on and on, but...
Sharpest Tool's good too.
Yeah, she really did it, and it's really good, and I'm so glad that she also added her own little twist to it, so...
I was going to say that when I first listened to the album, I didn't really like it. But I told Anthony, I was like, I'm going to give it multiple listens, and sure enough, it grew on me, and I was telling her that the Choi Sivan... the Ariana Grande, Eternal Sunshine, and this one are albums that I just push play and I listen to because I drive to different schools all week, all day long. So I like to not listen to the same thing over and over again. That's like redundant, you know? Yeah. And yeah, that's one of my albums that I have on there. And I actually don't have a favorite yet. Of course, Espresso, that's like the hit. Yes. I think when I first listened to the album, I was like, oh, none of these are like Espresso. And so that's why it kind of turned me off. But I'm like, hey, you're not all going to be hits, all right? But you can still be a good song. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not all going to be like hit, unless you're Ariana Grande. I mean, like, she has all hits. But, like, they're all good songs. Like, they just had to grow on me. But I seriously, like, that's another album. Like, I'll listen to from beginning to end. Just like Troye Sivan, especially Eternal Sunshine. Yeah. Just from beginning to end, good. I don't need to skip. Yeah. They're all good. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So, highly recommend. So good.
Yeah, check them out. And like Marilyn said, make sure you comment and share your album or song.
Or if it's the same as us, probably her, because it's that one just came out. Like, what is your favorite song on the album?
Yeah. Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Alrighty, friends. Well, for this episode, Marilyn is going to kick us off here with the messages she wants to share with you guys. So grab your cafecito or turn on that car and get ready, and let's get to it.
Yeah, so... My message is actually some advice that my mother gave me when I was fighting with somebody. So she was just telling me that there will always be people in your life who push your buttons, who will say things that are just far from the truth of who you are, and it'll get you upset. She was like, I'm a very reaction based person. It's good and bad. Like, as I just thought of it right now, you know how like Angel was saying, like, you're not the type of person to be jumping up and down. You know how you're like, oh, did you imagine how I'd react to the engagement? He's like, that's not the type of person you are. And I'm like, that's so true. You're more like calm. You're like, oh my God, but I am a very much big reaction person. Like I told you in like a few episodes ago, when I found out I got the job that she helped me get, I was literally jumping up and down like crazy person.
Barky.
I was barking. So I'm a very reaction-based person. It's not a bad thing. It's just who I am. So best believe in the bad, it's also in the good, it's also the bad. Like, I will get angry. I will scream. I will yell at you. I will cuss you out. And I'm working on it. But I'm very reaction-based. So not too long ago, somebody had said something about my character that was far from the truth. So it's interesting. As you guys know, I'm really big on my faith. And this comment was about my faith. They were pretty much saying, like, it's funny that you talk about God when you're not a true Christian. That to me was so far from the truth. Literally, before I had came to this person's house, I was doing some praise and worship. I was crying, tearing up in the car, not crying. I was tearing up in the car, thanking God for the things and the people in my life. So I'm like, for you to say that about me, it's like nuts. I should have just walked away from that person because they're crazy. But instead, I'm a very reaction-based person. But the piece of advice that my mother gave me that I'm going to take with me throughout my life, because it's so true. She was saying that people throughout your life, Marilyn, you're a very reaction-based person, especially with manipulative people. They're going to want to see you yell. They're going to want to see you get angry. They're going to want to, take you off. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. When someone says you're not a true Christian, oh my gosh, that's laughable. It's like, don't get mad because you know your relationship with God. You know what you just did in the car before stepping out into this house. You know the conversations you have with God. You know how He saved your life. You know all the things that have happened in your life. Remember who you are. Remember, and you will never get upset. You will never get hurt. Again, like maybe even in a relationship, like remember who you are. If somebody tries to manipulate you or try to change you or try to make you think you're crazy, no. I know who I am. I know what I stand for, and that's not okay. And so just remembering who you are and obviously having a firm foundation of who you are. You could be growing into yourself and maybe you don't know who you are. But at this point in my life, I'm 26 years old. I know who I am. But of course, if you're 19, you may not know who you are because I certainly didn't know who I was like I do now. It obviously depends on where you are at in your life. But another example where I used this piece of advice in my life was on the first week of school. As I was teaching my students, I kept thinking and doubting myself, and is obviously an insecurity of like, I hope that my students are understanding what I'm saying. I hope that I'm a good professor. I hope that I'm teaching them well. I hope that these lesson plans are good. And then in the end, in two different schools, different students, they ended up coming to me after class and just pouring out their heart to me on how they've never had a professor like me, that they've never learned like they have with me, that they've never, and I've had students tell me that in the past semester, but it was just really telling, oh yeah, remember who you are, Marilyn. You're qualified for the job. You got the job for a reason. And remember who you are. You're Professor Paiva. You freaking got the job for a reason. You are qualified. You know how to do this. Just do it. Mm-hmm. Remember who you are. So that is my piece of advice. It's short and sweet. And I also have just like a little marker too. And it says, don't negotiate your self-worth. remember who you are. So as well of like just not, that's like my thing I'm working on, not being so reaction based on the negative stuff. People love giving me gifts because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like screaming, yelling, especially on Christmas. I'm like ripping it open. People love that. But for the negative stuff, when I'm fighting, like I just need to like, don't negotiate my self-worth, and that is my self-worth. Just walk away. You don't deserve my energy. And I will say my brother had said something like, you know, when a person doesn't know, he said something like, you know, they're in the wrong when they walk away. And at the time I agreed with him, but I highly disagree now, because sometimes when somebody is just speaking nonsense, there's no reason. Arguing with a fool makes you a fool. And there's sometimes you need to just walk away, because why? I'm yelling at a wall at this point. You're talking crazy. I don't understand you. You don't understand me. I just need to, instead of yelling, instead of saying hurtful stuff, let me just take myself out of the situation. And so that's what I'm starting to do now, is just like, I'm not going into places anymore that I don't feel my best, and I'm not going to fight with people. I'm just going to be like, you know what? I got to go. I'll talk to you soon. Think about what you just said and just leave. But yeah, so yeah, that is just my thing I wanted to share with this week's message of remembering who you are.
No, I really love that, because it is true. I think this is such a good message to think about, both in the good and in the bad, right? I was thinking about a good moment in my life where I remembered who I am, or who I am, who I was at that time, or whatever. And it was my very first time where I had asked for a promotion / raise in corporate in my job. This was before I got into event planning. This is when I was in HR. And I remember at that time, it was really scary for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want them to think that I'm ungrateful. I don't want them to like hate me. But then at the same time, I was remembering, I was telling myself like, no, but like I've been doing the work. Like there's no reason why I shouldn't get promoted or get paid. Like I got to let them know, like, I'm grateful for where I'm at now, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I'm literally doing the same type of things that this person with this title and this pay is doing. And I had to advocate for myself and get that confidence. Like, let me come in. No, remember that I'm that girl in this department, and I, hey, that project that you really were so grateful that I did, like I did that. Like, let me remember and showcase and share that. And so I think that kind of relates to that moment of where that happened. I did get a raise, guys. I did. And like, she was so happy. And, so funny, because at that time when I had done that, I was just so like nervous, but I was really trying to be confident I brought my data. I did a PowerPoint presentation. I really tracked everything to show like, look what I've been doing. Like, give me the opportunity. Don't just give me the $1 raise. Like, no. I need like a bigger raise. Like, I know. And it was so funny, because I remember that at that time, my manager from there, she was so proud of me that of course she gave me my raise. Of course she gave me the title change. And it actually was a learning opportunity to, yes, remember who I was as a worker, and what I brought to the table, and not let anyone else be like, oh no, you're just a coordinator. No. Or like we talked about in the other episode, like, I'm young, like, it's fine. Like, no. Like, forget that. Like, think about like my work ethic and what I brought to the table. And two, like, it really just made me able to just get that data and like track it and reflect, and to see like everything that I had done for that year and why I deserved more, and remembered, like I said, what I brought to the table and who I was. So I think in an instance like that, like that's where I kind of was like thinking about like, like, yeah, like if I kind of just like let them like, oh, we think you're this, so like you're gonna stay here, like, you're young. Like, it was just remembering like, I'm mature, I have a degree, I brought this to the table this year, I did all that. Like, no, like I need to come in and like get more and do more type of thing. And then you also made me think of like the bad, right? And it's so true, like situations where people put you in, and where you just feel like, was it me? Like, am I the problem? Or like, why did they like, why did they hurt me? Why did they lie on my name? Why did they lead me on, right? Why did they cuss me out? Like, was our friendship not enough? Was my love not enough? Was, whatever that is. And that I think those are all good moments where, again, you got to remember who you are and say, no, I am not a disrespectful person. No, I never did anything to cause that. That is on them. Like, I don't need to let their projections, the way they treated me, their thoughts, the way they led me on, the way they treated our relationship in one instance define like who I am. Like, oh, I'm the problem. Maybe she acted like this because I did something. Like, no. Like, reflect and take some time to remember, like, that is not me. I did not do that. And I'm just gonna, exactly what you said, I'm just gonna walk away. Like, I need to remember that I don't disrespect. You've disrespected me. I'm not a disrespectful person, so I'm just going to walk away from you. I am done. Like, I am not going to handle and go to those standards of what you're portraying on me or what you think you're of me, because I know who I am and I'm not that, right? I am not going to let you continue to, I'm just thinking about like different people in my life. Like, I am not going to continue to, at that time, one of the guys that I was speaking to, let you continue to disrespect me and hug me and treat me like I was like I'm still your girl or your little side or whatever it was. Like, no, I know who I am. I'm Jazmine. I know what I want, and I know that I don't want to be treated like this anymore. So I'm going to put a halt at you, and I'm going to walk away. So yeah, I really love it. I think it's a really good message, and like I said, I think you can kind of remember that in like the good and the bad. I know it's often more common in the bad, because then you really have to think about like reminding yourself then, like, I'm not like that. I'm not what they're saying I am. But like I said, also in the good, like in the good of like, I am this, like, I am smart enough to like take on this project, or I am qualified to do this, or in my case, like, I deserve and I am more than capable of moving up and getting a raise, because I know what I bring to the table. Remember what you are, what you bring, your education, your experience, the projects you work on, the connections you make, like all of that.
Yeah, you reminded me of something else. Like, what is your track history? What is your track history? I remember talking to my therapist about something that I feared at that time. I don't fear it anymore. Also, if you hear little pitter patters, it's 5'9". I have a Frenchie in my house. He's kind of my dog now, I guess. I don't know what to call him. He's my dad's dog, but I take care of him. So if you hear little or like little pitter patters, it's him. He really wanted to be inside. So sorry about that, little disclaimer. But something that I really feared, and I was talking to my therapist about, and feared as in past tense, like I don't fear it anymore. I was really scared I was going to traumatize my children. And I just was telling her that, like, I'm scared I'm gonna pretty much do what was done to me and just mess them up. And, no parent is perfect. But when I'm talking about like trauma, like shaking, like you can't cope, like self-harming, like just horrible stuff, I just don't want to put them through that. And so I was telling her, I'm scared. What if I do that? And she smiled and she was saying, look at your track history. She's like, you're very, very self-aware. She's like, you are too self-aware to ever traumatize your children. And that was something that, remembering who I am, how I am as a person, how reflective I am, how compassionate I am. And I'm like, you're right. If for some reason, like, even if I were to fight with my child, I'm the type of person that I'm not going to be closed-minded of like, no, I'm right, they're wrong. I'm the type of person where I'm going to sit down and I'll be like, okay, Marilyn, like, you just fought with your child. That's normal. It happens. How could I move better as a parent? How can I resolve this conflict between, because that's my job as the parent but as a my experience with my parents is different. But as a parent, that is your job. It is your job to reach out to your children. It is your job to take care of them, resolve their problems with you. And so she was just saying, like, no, you're too self-aware. So just like your track history, another example is also every time I tell people, I'm like, can you believe like that happened? And they're like, no, that tracks with you. Like that tracks with you. Like even like with the new job, none of my friends are shocked. They're like, as you should. I'm like, no, like this is crazy. Like this is not normal. They're like, no, but like for you, it is because, you know, you have faith or you work so hard or look at how long you worked on the project. Of course you passed. Of course you got an A. Of course you, like for other people, like the track history tracks, but I don't remember that. I just remember like in the moment, like, you know, so just also your track history, seeing how you have dealt with things in the past, and that'll show you like who you are. Cause maybe you have to think, oh, I don't even know who I am. Like, I don't even know how I am as a person. How do I handle things? And so just hearing your track history, asking the people around you, maybe.
I remember we talked about this in one podcast. I don't remember one podcast episode, definitely season 1. Can't quote it.
Okay.
But it was one where we talked about like messaging our friends and having them describe us.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
in one word.
Yeah. And just kind of reminding us like who we are.
I love
and
that.
what we put out in the world. So like all your friends and those around you see you as such a positive light, and then you have some, you know, bad encounter with someone who says the opposite of that. That's a good, you know, like you said, track
You're like,
that.
nobody's
really,
ever said
I've
that.
I've never been told that.
I've never been called that.
I know what I am. Yeah, no.
That's your projection of me.
Yeah.
Unless everybody keeps saying that, then
Right.
Like one thing that I have been called that's negative, and I've been called this by a lot of people, and I've actually accepted it now. And my friend, he laughs at me. He's like, the first step is acceptance. And he like patted me on the back, is brat. He's like, you're a brat. My brothers, you're a brat. My mom, you're a brat. Or like another one is spoiled. Like you're so spoiled. You're so spoiled. And I'm like, you know what? I forgot what it was, but something happened where I'm like, I'm a brat.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but I can be. And I am spoiled. I can be. But yeah. And it's good to as well acknowledge who you are, even the negative.
Yeah. Both good and bad.
Yeah. Because we're not all positive, right?
Yeah.
There's negatives, there's cons to everyone and everything.
Right.
So also being self-aware of where you fall short.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being in this episode. Woo!
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss September.
Marilyn. Thanks, Marilyn, for sharing this message. If you guys enjoyed it, or you think a friend needs to hear it, or someone near you needs to kind of listen to this message of remembering who you are and reflecting on that, please send this to them and, you know, be like, hey, I heard this podcast. Check it out.
Doesn't Mufasa say that to his son? Remember who you are.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think so. I don't remember.
No, he does.
He does, huh?
Yeah.
See, I knew it was a Disney quote. When I was thinking about it, I'm like, I feel like I've heard a deep voice say that.
Yeah.
And it was Lion King. I love it.
Oh, well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We hope you guys are getting ready for October. And above all else, we wish you love. Bye, friends.